What's up, y'all? It's your boy Mr. Cheap Sense here, and I decided, instead of stretching this out, prolonging it, if I may, doing separate reviews all over again of all four of these fragrances that were sent to me from Ross over at TLTG. This is the box that they came in from the house of Miguel Matos. I decided I was going to go ahead on the last day of my first impressions of these fragrances. I have one more to do, which is the one I'm going to do now, but I decided I'm just going to go ahead and go through all four fragrances again, give you all the note breakdown, since I didn't do that because of my first impressions. I'm going to go ahead and give you prices, note breakdowns, tell you what I think about all four of these fragrances so I can pass them along. I'm not going to hold on to them any longer. I did promise some other reviewers that I was going to send them some fragrances when I get done with them. So this will be the first. So let's get to it. And before I get to that, if you're not a subscriber to the channel, please make sure you do so. Make sure you ring the bell for notifications. The icon will open up above the bell. Make sure you hit all so you get any and all content uploaded by me through this channel. Make sure you like the video, thumbs up. Make sure you share these videos, and make sure you're active in the comment section. The comment section to me is just as important, but it is even more important that you share and like these videos, and also subscribe. So with that being said, let's get to it. So the fragrance out of the four from the house of Miguel Matos, the one I'm wearing today is called Silverstone. And as much as I liked the other two that I wore the day before, Miracle of Roses and Germain, I must say Silverstone is a lot more wearable to me, and I like this one a lot. Silverstone runs you about $80 for a 50 ml bottle, which is expensive, I know, and a lot of people aren't gonna really want to pay those kind of prices for fragrances, because my channel started off being all about cheapies, and I got kind of spoiled by my subscribers. They were sending me samples and decants of stuff and got me into different fragrances and smelling different things. And I am very happy to have experienced these fragrances, and now I want to pass the experience on to somebody else. So $80 for a 50 ml bottle of this. Has top notes of lemon, lavender, basil, and coriander, mid notes of oregano, rose, violet, and cedar, base notes of musk, sandalwood, leather, and oak moss. Very, very nice fragrance. I will say all four of these got me at least an hour and a half to 2 hours of projection, and all four of these fragrances got me 10 plus hours. I washed and smelled my arms afterwards, and I can still smell these fragrances the next morning. So 10 plus hours on all four of these. Well, the other three. I can't say that for Silverstone because I haven't had it on except for maybe about 3 hours now. But this one probably won't last as long as the other three. Right now, it's actually dying down on my skin. So I'm going to give this probably around the 5 hour mark for Silverstone. But I will say Silverstone out of the four is the most likable by me. I do like Germain, and I do like Miracle of Roses. Silverstone has some nice notes in it. You do get in the opening, you do get that, you get more of the stronger notes like the lemon, the basil. I don't pick up too much of the lavender in this. Coriander is there, but it's not as prominent. I don't get a lot of violet. You do pick up the cedar. The rose, not so much. Let me give myself a refresher. Yeah. You pick up that lemon, you pick up the basil, the coriander a little bit. You do get a hint of the lavender, but you kind of get like this urinal cakeish kind of vibe. It doesn't last long though. When you think of violet or violet leaf, which is just violet in here, you usually lean towards thinking something like a petrol vibe, but you don't get that. Not in this. Sandalwood, you do pick up a little leather and the oak moss. It does have somewhat of a old schoolish type vibe, which is probably where you're picking up that leather mixing with the oak moss. It's not bad. I like it. I know a lot of other people may not dig it. This particular line from Miguel Matos is very creative. And if you're not into creative fragrances, then you probably won't like some of these. I do know Sailor Stories is the one I despise the most. It's just not for me. So that's Silverstone. Sailor Stories, like I said, was the least favorite of mine. I will not spray this again, not on my skin. Sailor Stories, you get for a 50 ml bottle is $90, so it's $10 more. You get top notes of bergamot and lemon. Yes, you do pick that up. Jasmine, you do pick up a lot of those C notes that are in here. Oak moss, leather, and seaweed. And I think the seaweed is what gives it that kind of off-putting vibe mixed with the leather and the oak moss. Whatever else C notes or whatever it is that's mixed in, it kind of has like a I don't want to be grotesque, but that's just what it gives me. The story, all four of these fragrances have stories behind them. So you have to go to the Miguel Matos website and read the stories behind them. But the story that I got from the person, Ross, over at TLTG that sent me these is that Sailor Stories is two sailors supposedly in, stranded at sea. And it's supposed to smell like, I guess, their bodily fluids, sex, and stuff like that. It definitely did not go well with me on this fragrance. It lasted forever. I washed, I scrubbed, and the next morning I can still smell that fragrance strongly on my skin. So well over 10 plus hours for Sailor Story. For those of you who complain about projection and longevity, get Sailor Stories. You may not like the scent, but it does last. $90 for that one, like I said. Miracle of Roses is another $90 fragrance. Top notes you get, and it's odd, you get bread and milk mixed with cinnamon. Mid notes you get rose, iris, heliotrope, I guess it's immortelle. Base notes of honey, sandalwood, incense, and woody notes. And Miracle of Roses is one of my favorites from this line. I would probably put it behind Silverstone. probably third on my list. It's a rose fragrance. Not a lot of men are going to be into a lot of rose fragrances. Well, at least the guys that I know that aren't on the level of niche and indie or into abstract kind of fragrances, they're not going to really like rose that much. But I do. And this one is nice. It's very nice. I like it. I think there may be something else that may appeal to me better than this one in the rose department, and I haven't ran into it yet. So if anybody knows any nice rose fragrances, please let me know. Let's see. Last but not least is Germain. And Germain is the highest price one, and it is $110 for a 50 ml bottle. All four of these are EDP concentration with 20% concentration. Germain has top notes of bergamot, juniper, lavender, mid notes of violet, sage, and basil, base notes of vetiver, leather, patchouli, and musk. You do in the top notes, you pick up that strong bergamot, which I thought it was lemon or something like that in the video, but it's bergamot. You do pick up the vetiver because it does have that sharp kind of vetiver, I guess. What do you? It's kind of hard to explain. That sharp, it's like a sharp citrusy type note, I guess. With the vetiver, you do pick up the leather. It's a nice fragrance. I like it. If I had to put these in order of 1 through 4, like I said, I would go with Silverstone, Germain, Miracle of Roses, and Sailor Story is my least favorite. I really don't even like it, to be honest with you. But if I had to rate what I have here, 1 through 4, it's dead last. If I had to rate these one through, I'm gonna just say 1 through 5, Silverstone will probably get a 4.5. Germain would probably get a 4. Miracle of Roses, I'll put it at like maybe a 3.5. And Sailor Story would probably get a 1. It's, like I said, my least favorite. So this is also, before I forget, you can get a discovery set of 4 for $23, and they're only going to be dabbers. They're not going to be the spray ones like these. They're going to just be the dabbers, which I hate dabbers. And they're all 4 of those would be 2 mLs. And I think they choose the 4 because when I was writing this down at the end, it said discovery set of 4, and they had 4 other fragrances besides these 4 that come in the discovery set. So if you want to check out some fragrances from Miguel Matos, $23, you're going to get dabbers. You're not going to get sprayers. And they come with four 2 ml bottles. So if you're interested in checking out the house of Miguel Matos, maybe get into it a little bit, sample some stuff, test out something different instead of buying bottles, do that, go that route. That's all I have for you all. Thank you to everyone who watches this review. If you're interested in Miguel Matos, there are other videos that go more into depth on Miguel Matos' website about these fragrances. You can also read the stories behind these fragrances and maybe get interested in maybe sampling some of these fragrances. So check that out. There are, I think, other reviewers outside of the Miguel Matos website that people talked about these fragrances. Check them out also. I don't know everybody who has done them, so I won't try to make myself look like I know everything about it. But for the most part, here's to smelling great. I'm out. Peace.